Okay, so today's topic is about attention.
Yes, a very important topic.
In today's hectic, fast-paced world. Got to say though, it's been nice having the rain, I reckon, today. For what Australia's been through, a whole week of rain, but today is solid. It's been really
very true. You're able to settle down your attention even. It helps your attention, that cooling.
Yeah, so I reckon, it's hard to define sometimes. What is attention? If you have to get down to the bottom of it, we all know it as some kind of focus, but there's a word for focus. It must be something. Yeah. What do you reckon? What do you think it is?
I think the explanation that I prefer is where your mind settles. So wherever your mind is able to settle is where your attention is.
Or if it's not allowed to settle.
Exactly.
I guess that's a haphazard attention, isn't it? Yeah.
That's it. So we can have good attention or we can have bad attention.
Yeah.
So how would you describe good attention?
It's tricky, but I think I like to think of, you have professionals like sports people or artists, and they're able to just completely focus their attention on something and hold it there. I think that's good attention, when you can put it somewhere and hold it there at your own will. Yes. It's quite broad, isn't it? Because it's also to do with, one's like the power of your focus, but also being able to take it somewhere at will, flick between different things. I guess it's also to do with being able to contain multiple things in your attention, I guess using computers, you have multiple tabs open, but you know what each of them are doing. That's right. Something like that. And when your attention is good, you're able to settle your attention in the present moment. Yeah. So rather than thinking about what has happened in the past or even a few hours ago, or thinking about what you need to do in the future, you're able to focus completely on what you're doing now. And in that way you become much more effective and much more efficient. Yeah, like sports people have that word, being in the zone. Yes. That's like absolutely it, where your attention's not muddled up by emotions or thoughts, or even like, say playing basketball, you're like, I really need to take this shot, score those points. You're just in that moment, you take it, you know when to take it, you know whether to pass it or not. For artists, they just know in that moment that, right, that picture just needs one little leaf right there and it'll make it perfect. Just being really in that spot. Exactly.
And I think today there's a lot of things that affect our attention, because we're very often on the internet, or we can be on a number of screens all at the same time, and that affects our ability to focus.
It's such a fast-paced world, and it really wrecks your attention, you know, like you're just doing so many things at once that it's almost like you're untraining it to focus on something in particular in a way. It's quite interesting, I guess, that way. But it's also like you see it in, I guess, your careers, you know, like I'm an engineer, you're a teacher. I'm sure you'd see it everywhere. You see kids nowadays, you know, they've got this attention deficit, basically. You can't settle. You see movies, you see ads. They're all about hit it, 1, 2, 3, 4, screen, cut. You know, it's
exactly.
You look at I can't look at old movies anymore. They're too slow for my attention. You know, I think you really need that, like, So I think it's quite a big question. You know, like at all stages of life. If you're a student and you're studying, I mean, you're a teacher. I think you should be telling me about this.
Well, it's certainly something that I've noticed in my own students over the last 10 years, how much more difficult it is to focus a class's attention.
10 years would be when, like, smartphones became a thing,
exactly.
right? So like multiple tabs and those like computer games and all, where you have like just a lot of camera angles and things.
So for children now, things have to be in short bursts. It's become more difficult to focus a child's attention over a long period of time. But many things require us to do that, to be able to focus, and we become much more successful in life if we can focus. And one very important thing that can help us is meditation.
I remember back when I was at university studying, I was studying engineering, and a lot of my lecturers kept telling me that, you know, something that's really quite irritating now is that the students complain about having to learn the theory behind your engineering physics, because they just want the quick answer. They can't hold their attention enough to build a case, to go back into it and figure out its relevance, and that takes, you know, hours. Literally, and that's pretty good considering some of this physics has had thousands of years worth of effort from different people. But people just want an answer. They just want a solution, and not what went into it. And I guess in my career, that means as an engineer, you're building buildings without knowing what you're doing, which is very dangerous, actually.
Exactly.
Imagine if doctors, you know, if you went to a doctor and they didn't know what they were talking about and just said stuff, I wouldn't pay them. So I think, it's absolutely really important. And, you know, you're working on big projects and things like that. You know, if I'm designing, say, a whole building, you kind of need to be able to, there's a lot of assumptions you make up in your mind that you need to be able to, your attention needs to be good enough to be able to hold on to it for long enough that, you know, when you're designing some part of a building, you know that it's in line with another part of a building. And, you know, it's sort of like, I guess in a more everyday term, it's like the Sudokus in the newspapers. If your attention's really good, you can hold multiple trains of, right, you know, if I put a number 9 here, the possibility here is a 2 and a 3, but that row needs to be this and this. And I think that sort of attention, it's really decreasing. I think, like, people are becoming really good at short-term attention. Because that's what you practice with multiple tabs and using, you know, listening to music while washing the dishes, while watching the TV. But in terms of actually just settling down and focusing, I think that's where people are turning to meditation. And it's really cool because meditation does give you an answer for it, but I guess it's not quite as obvious in those terms.
Well, we're both meditators, and I know how much meditation helps me focusing and how much more efficient I can be. And I feel that meditation helps because meditation is all about being in the present moment. So it's like a practice. It trains you to focus your attention into the present moment and be able to hold your attention there. So it's certainly very effective.
We've had a few, speaking of, we've had a few hospitals and a few universities do quite a bit of work at looking into Sahaja Yoga and how it particularly helps with mental stress and anxiety. And it tends to, a part of it is where you put your attention and how clouded you let it become, how overcome you let your attention become by emotions, for example, when it gets to anxiety. Or how, you know, at work you're just procrastinating, those sort of things. They're quite linked with attention, actually, even though you don't think of it as so.
Yes.
But when somebody does some research and points it out, it's pretty obvious. I mean, like,
yes,
I don't think anyone could deny that, to be honest.
exactly. And even when you practice it, it becomes even more obvious because you see that change in yourself, how much more effective you become and how much happier you become because you're able to enjoy that moment that you're in. So will we try a little meditation now?
Yeah, I think what might be good is we have a process called self-realization that we tend to go through first for Sahaja Yoga meditation, just to get us going, and then we'll do a second meditation, but meditation's a state. So along the same lines, we can go into how to bring our attention back in line, how to actually how to fix it, how to strengthen it. And Sahaja Yoga meditation, founded by Shri Mataji, the lady in the picture here, I think it gives some really good techniques to bring it in line quickly, effectively, and it makes sense. So I think, we could do that, go into line, go into that a little bit, but maybe we can start with the self-realization process and just, unmuddling our attention in our mind.
Yes,
possibly.
that's a good first step. So when we go through the realization process, what happens is we have an energy within us. It's a very gentle, mothering energy. And the energy is able to rise within us, pass through our brain and create that space between our thoughts so our attention can stay in the present moment. And as it comes up, it connects with the energy that surrounds us. Some people like to refer to it as Mother Nature, the all-pervading power. It's the energy that makes the flowers grow.
Essentially life, right?
Life.
Like the thing
That's
that gives
it.
the energy that gives things life.
Yes.
Yeah.
So why don't we try that now, and then we can talk a little bit more about attention and how we can improve it.
Shall we start with a minute of just deep breaths?
Yes.
So that would be good, I think.
All right. So we can place our hands out on our lap, palm up, and take a couple of slow, deep breaths to help open our heart and settle our attention into this moment. So we can start this meditation by placing our right hand on our left hip. And here, inside ourselves, we can ask for our connection to the pure knowledge. Please connect me to the pure knowledge that lies within me. Help me to find the peace and silence within me so that I can know myself. Then we can place our hand over our heart on the left side of the chest. And here we can say once more inside, please connect me to the joy I have within me. The love and compassion I have for everyone and everything. Then we can take our right hand and place it right at the top of the head, so pressing down with the palm of your right hand. And here we can say, please connect me. Please connect me to the pure peace, the pure silence that surrounds me. Help me to go beyond my thoughts. And then taking your right hand above your head, about 10 or 20 centimeters, try to settle your attention where your hand is. And then when you feel your attention is settled, you can place your hand back down into your lap and just remain in that silence beyond your thoughts. And then when you feel ready, you can open your eyes.
Really settles you down, doesn't it?
It does. It allows your attention to settle into this moment. I know that sometimes though, when I'm trying to meditate, I still have thoughts. So there are techniques that we can use.
Yeah, it's quite, I think to be able to meditate, you need your attention to be strong enough to go past those thoughts,
Yes.
like to just instantly block them out. And sometimes it's your thoughts, sometimes it's your emotions. Yeah, we have a few techniques. I think the last episode or the one before that
Yes.
had one called foot soaking.
Yeah.
That a couple others from the team talked about, which is a really good one. I think another one that we were going to touch on today is the ice pack. We asked we sent out, I think, a few emails before this clip to get some ice and a bit of a plastic bag and a cloth and things like that to put it in. So yeah, I guess we could just go through it quickly and then afterwards maybe touch on where it comes into everything, like why we put it, where we put it, and
Yes.
what we do.
Why it works.
Yeah, so
Yes.
if we can just get like a little bag ready with ice in it, that would be good, I think. Yeah. Okay, so our camera crew has given us some equipment here. We've got a plastic packet. Where's the camera? There's the camera. So we've got a plastic packet, a bit of ice. That's a huge chunk. We can put it right in.
This is when you've had a really busy day.
Yeah, when you're just hectic, or a few coffees in and you're just buzzing and you need to calm down and get to sleep. Another one is one of these like ice block you just get and stick it in the freezer.
Yes.
So these are the blue gel ones. For some of us more environmentally friendly. I mean, I guess they're both plastic, but this one you can just put it back in the freezer when you're done, or fill it up with fresh water or something. So yeah, you can just get one of these, and the place to put it's the liver, the liver is actually underneath the lower ribs on the right-hand side. So we can just put it there. And the liver is the part of our body that generates a lot of the cells for our brain. I think I was reading a bit of research. I don't know, you might have read that too.
Yes.
Does it come into education? Do they talk about it?
Well, the liver is very important because it is the seat of our attention. And whenever we think, it creates more and more heat in our liver. The more heat that is in our liver, the more thoughts it creates. So
it's pretty logical to cool it down with ice.
It's very logical to cool it down with ice, and it's amazing how it works. I know this is something I do every day after I come home, and it makes such a difference.
Yeah, so that helps tone down our thoughts.
Yes.
Tone down just that hyperactive feeling.
Yeah.
Helps to get to bed at night, but I think also if you do it in the morning or during the day, it just helps settle your attention. It doesn't make you feel sleepy, it just makes you feel less hectic. So if it's at night and you're tired anyway, it helps you go to bed. But in the day, I think it just helps you focus on whatever you need to do.
Yes.
You know, like I always think it's really cool to learn a new instrument or another language, but oftentimes we don't quite have the attention capacity to do that. But I've been finding like doing this, over the last few years has sort of given me that patience, I guess, in a way to...
It really calms you down, doesn't it?
Yeah, to really go at it. So anyone else at home that has a plastic packet and some ice, you can grab onto that. I think our camera crew has a little clip that they can play for us and go with that. So, serious weapon, this, isn't it?
Yes, it does a very good job.
Yeah, so I think, I guess additional to, just the usual attention stuff, just in terms of focusing and calmer attention, being able to sleep and all of that kind of thing, where meditation adds to this is, if you did it as a normal person, that's what you get out of it. But if you're meditating, the whole idea of meditating is connecting to this energy that's all around us, which is what you brought in with the self-realization process.
Yes.
But what's cool is when you're connected, your attention is connected to this energy. So you can actually direct this energy, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Your attention can become very powerful. So, for example, if you're with two people and they're maybe arguing about something rather than involving yourself in that argument. If you're able to stand back and just focus your attention on those people, you'll find that things sort out.
It stops you getting carried away in your memories of what might have happened in the past or your emotions, right? Like
That's it.
But it's like what you were saying. Basically, in your present,
Yes.
you can assess the situation in the present
Yes.
and say something that's perhaps more tactful than
Yes.
you might find in a heated argument or something.
Exactly,
Yeah.
or you might even find not saying anything at all, just your
Yeah.
attention, if it's powerful enough, will have an effect.
Yeah, because this energy, it's connected to everything living. So if you're connected, if your attention's good, you can direct that energy to whatever the person, the problem, it may be, something bigger than yourself. It's really, it's quite interesting actually.
It is.
So if you're regularly meditating, then it's sort of like a double bonus cooling down your attention,
Exactly, and it's very interesting to see how you change and how your attention changes when you meditate, because meditating 10 minutes every day, you'll look back on yourself, what you were like a month ago, and how much better your attention is, how much more efficient you are, how you're able to finish tasks instead of, like you were saying, procrastinating, that you get much more done and you're just...
way more efficient.
Yes.
And it's good because it gives you time outside of that task to do something,
Exactly.
If you spend 3 hours doing a job procrastinating and you do it in an hour, then you've got 2 hours to procrastinate in peace.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's good. I've actually, something that I've noticed is I think we both know a lot of people that do Sahaja Yoga meditation, and this tool of foot soaking or ice packs, they're quite a common one. It's what a lot of us do very often. Quite like you were saying, you do it nearly every day.
Yeah, I do. Well, foot soaking, yes, definitely every day. Ice packing when I come home.
Yeah.
I feel if I ice pack when I come home, I'm able to leave what happened during that day behind, and I don't start thinking about what I need to do tomorrow. So I'm just able to enjoy being at home and
enjoying
your dinner.
that.
That's
enjoy
right.
Your night. Yeah,
that's right. It makes just such a difference, and you only really need to do it for about 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah.
You can do it before you meditate. You're doing it while you're meditating. You can practice. You can try
even
a lot
while
of
trying
these.
to go to bed.
Exactly.
I do it. I do the one on my head when I'm just laying in bed. I sleep on my side, so I'll put it on my head. But what's interesting is we know a lot of people that do this meditation and they do this cooling technique to cool down the liver essentially. And there's a lot of people in Sahaja Yoga that are really good. They can speak multiple languages, they can sing beautifully, they can play multiple instruments, not just one. I think that's a very unusual concentration for a specific group of people,
it is.
If you think back to your office or think back to, I don't know, just society generally, how many musicians would there be in a block?
That's true. Most people, or some people, can do one thing.
Yeah.
But very often people who practice Sahaja Yoga, they can do multiple things. They can sing and they can play an instrument, they can write. And it's all because of this focused attention.
It's just that much more honed.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think, what we might leave our listeners with is a talk of Shri Mataji, the founder of Sahaja Yoga, who's brought us this really wise tools to deal with our everyday life. So we might leave with this, essentially, just to bring you up to speed. There's a few advanced words she uses. One of them is gunas, Gunas, and there's basically 3 inside us. I think maybe you can touch on them, but very briefly, there's a left, right, and center.
Yes. And when we're thinking, it's the right channel that heats up.
And action.
Yes.
Thinking, that
That's
hyper
it.
side.
Yes. So that's what draws us into thinking and into the future.
Yeah.
So Shri Mataji talks about how we can balance these gunas, and also if we're unbalanced, how they affect us in our everyday life.
And our left side's more to do with emotion and memory.
Yes.
But the center one is present, I guess. It's a sort of a balance between the two, and this spread of our internal energy across these 3 channels sort of determines our personality. And the way I understand it is, too much of one channel is not good. Too much of the right means you're super aggressive, and too much of the left means you're super emotional, tends to be depressive.
Yes.
But you kind of need to balance them, right? And we use the elements, we use water and earth, but also temperatures like cool and ice pack. So we might leave you with this talk. If anyone listening has any questions, I suppose we could answer it. Maybe, I think our chat's gone on a little bit long, so maybe in the next episode,
Yes.
the host can answer those questions. So yeah, please, anyone listening, feel free to watch. And thanks for listening. We'll leave you with this. It's a short talk by Shri Mataji Nirmala Devi. Cheers.
So attention is the whole of the canvas of your being. It's a complete canvas. Is the attention. Complete canvas of your being is the attention. How much you have gone into it, how much you have discovered it, how far you have raised it is a different point. Attention is chitta, and God is attention. How far your attention has been enlightened is a different point. But your attention is God. If you become enlightened to that extent, it is like a canvas. You can say it is like a canvas which is spread out for a film. And your aptitudes, or you can say the drags or movements of your attention has, shows on that canvas. I don't know what is the word for vritti in English language. It's not aptitude, but a person gets prone to, or his attention is dragged to. I don't know, there's a word like that for in English language, vritti. Can you suggest any word? So, our attention is just a pure, completely pure canvas, and is acted upon by the three gunas we have to begin with. And the three gunas come to you, as you know, one from your past, one from your future sense, and one from the present. Now, whatever have been your experiences about a particular thing or a particular occasion, so far is completely recorded in your memory. For example, if you see the black color, all that goes with the black color is recorded in your memory. As soon as you see this black color, quite a lot of it comes up. That means as soon as you see this with your attention, the attention gets muddled up, or you can say the attention gets colored with all the memories about this black color. And then your action takes place according to the way your attention is affected. For example, just now, something was burned by these flames. Now all of you became aware of it. Next time whenever you will see a flame, first thing will happen will be that you will be cautious about it. It is not going to happen again, but the whole memory will come to you and you will try to be cautious or warn others. Because your attention will become aware of that as soon as you will see that, because that canvas of your attention itself will start throwing out these pictures out of itself through your past experiences onto the canvas. This is a living canvas. Or maybe that if you have got some ideas which you have premeditated or thought of the future. For example, you must have thought of somebody that if I meet that man, I will tell him like this. As soon as you will meet that man, your attention will start bubbling out with those ideas that are coming about this man, and you will start addressing to him accordingly. It's all stored up within you, whether it is about the future or about the past, is given out of the attention through that bubbling process, which depends on your dragging nature. Where are you dragged? That's called as vritti. But I don't know what you call it in English language. I don't know what you are prone to. Vritti is a very neutral word. It doesn't mean anything bad. It means where you are drawn to. Vritti means a temperament by which you are drawn to. Now whatever is your temperament, it acts like that. For example, if you see a man walking, say, blindly, he cannot see things. One person may get angry with that person, another may have pity for that person, third may come forward to help him out. Is the vritti, is the temperament that you have developed through your three gunas. That's why this attention becomes identified with you. And when you are identified with this, your vritti, your temperaments, then you are still in a misidentified area. Let us take a case of somebody who has been possessed before. Now coming to Sahaja Yoga, his possession goes away. But the memory remains in the brain that he was possessed. And the memory is stronger in a person, left side is stronger. Then that memory lingers on. And as soon as that person comes in contact with anyone which has got something to do with the past possession, it clicks. And the whole thing starts coming into you, bubbling out, and you think you are again possessed. It is the memory which gives you, it's a myth. It's the memory that tells you, oh, you are again possessed. Because your left side is weak, means you always live in your memory. Your memory is stronger than yourself. If you could make yourself stronger than your memory, nothing can possess you. But after you get your realization, you are not still identified with that state of mind in which you see your ego and superego as myths. Still you get caught up into your ego and superego. And that's why your attention is still in a mess. In a pure, simple way of attention in an innocent child, he sees everything in pratyaksha, means in actual experiencing of something for a child, because he has no memory. So he'll have to burn his hand to feel that this burns. He has to touch something cold to know that it is cold. His memory is not yet built up. So into the actual experiencing of it, he lives. But that actual experiencing becomes memory. And once the memory is built up stronger, the whole personality is affected by memory. All the conditioning of all kinds come through that. Your reading, even the whole atmosphere can come to you. see, sometimes you smell a particular soap, or say a rose, you smell it. And all the memories of smelling such a rose sometimes comes to you, and you may feel really elated sometimes, maybe sometimes very unhappy, whatever may be the situation. So you may feel happy or unhappy, because whatever experiences you have had has given you a memory. This memory might have given you a superego or might have given you a ego. This scanning might have taken place. If it has been a ego and a superego, then maybe that if it was ego, you must have felt happy. If it is satisfying to your ego, you feel very happy. If it is not, if it is superego, if you are suppressed by this, then you feel very unhappy. So both things like happiness or unhappiness are the states where you are still in the myth. Still the myth exists. You have to still go beyond. So if you feel happy about some situation, you should know you are only happy before realization, because it is giving some support to your ego to bloat. And if you are unhappy, then you should know that there is some sort of a suppression on your ego and there is a superego developing. So both the situations have been of no help to you. Of no help to you for your growth, except that both these institutions develop so much that you are away from the real experience. The real experiencing stops because your attention is so much muddled up. So on one side, if you move on the left hand side, your attention is muddled up with fear, with pain, with unhappiness, with hopelessness, dejection. The other side, if you indulge too much onto the right hand side, little bit also, you start getting elated, excited, over dominating. The color of the left side is blue, and the blue color starts changing to the black. While on the right hand side, it is to begin with yellow, light yellow, or you can say golden, then yellow, then orange, and then red. So you go to aggression on the right hand side. On the left hand side, you go into a complete state of entropy, you can call it, or a state where you are separated from yourself into complete frozen state. So one side you become completely frozen, on the other side you become completely heated up. Both these things are again movement on the wrong direction. Even in the center, when the attention is kept, that you keep your attention more in the center. There also, because it's a very sensitive point, it doesn't stay there. For example, when we say use fire, we can use it for burning the house. In the same way, we can use it for creating smoke. But we can also use this fire in its proper way, if we use it in its proper proportion, for cooking the food, for giving us light. If it is too much, it can burn like a big fire. If it is too little, it can burn like smoke. But in the center, when you know how to balance it, then you can use it for your own purpose, for cooking or for giving light. And then for a puja too. So in the same way, when we really balance our gunas properly, then we become gradually the master of the whole situation.